This recording was made to be experienced slowly, with subtitles on, so you can truly absorb the words, not just hear them. You inhale, your chest tightens, you stare at the to-do list and nothing moves. Why? Because every line has to come out perfect, and perfect is far too heavy to lift. Hey, it's okay. No one wakes up thinking, today I'll freeze my own life. Have you noticed how silence stretches when guilt walks in? It squeezes your shoulders and whispers that everyone else is miles ahead while you're glued to the floor. Let me share a secret nobody murmured when you were little. The perfect brain does not exist. What does exist is a nervous system doing its best to shield you from pain. When you stall, your body believes it's protecting your reputation, your safety, your seat at the campfire. So before any tactic, honor the part of you that only wanted to keep you safe. Repeat after me, slowly, as the air fills your lungs. I thank my perfectionism for keeping me alive this far. Exhale. Again. I thank it, but I no longer need it as full armor. Feel your chest open a single inch? 1 inch is all a seed needs to meet daylight. From that sliver of brightness, movement is born. Remember, shame isolates. Curiosity builds bridges. Switch the question, why am I like this, to what exactly am I feeling right now? And the energy shifts from judgment to investigation. Investigation sparks motion, even microscopic motion, and motion invites life back in. Perfect is the gilded cage of the possible, but presence is the key that unlocks the door. Today, you're allowed to turn that key. Recall the first time someone praised your drawing. Maybe it was just a yellow sun with crooked eyes, yet they said, "Wow, you're talented." In that instant, without a manual, your young brain etched the equation. Approval equals surprising result with no visible effort. That inner algorithm was reinforced by teachers who stuck gold stars on the corner of the page, by relatives bragging about you at Sunday lunch, by classmates begging to copy your homework. While others sweated, you glided. Gliding feels magical, until the wind changes. High school arrives, science fairs arrive, college entrance exams arrive. Suddenly the yellow sun is not enough. Now they want Van Gogh in 3 hours. Yet nobody taught you the boring side of the miracle. Deliberate repetition. When effort finally shows up, it does not feel like challenge. It feels like a verdict of failure. Your brain screams, if I'm struggling, the gift must be gone. To dodge that sentence, you flee. You procrastinate. You switch hobbies. You mock those who grind. You build the persona of the natural talent who scoffs at marathons because running is for people who can't fly. But biology is ruthless. Muscles unused shrink. Synapses unused fade. The more you avoid discomfort, the farther you drift from the destiny everyone swore was inevitable. And so the canyon appears. Out there, expectations. In here, panic disguised as superiority. Today, we'll lay a plank bridge across that canyon. Board by board, mistake by mistake. Picture a clock with no hands. Does it mark time? No. It exists, it hangs, but it serves no purpose. That is the schedule of someone trapped by perfectionism, full of gears, lacking motion. First comes compulsive planning, color-coded spreadsheets, fresh notebooks, productivity apps promising revolutions. Hours choosing the perfect font, perfect icon, perfect title. Each tweak feels like work, but it's foam, not sea. Then delay turns into religion. You say, I'm not ready yet, I need more research, next week I'll start for real. Next week arrives dressed as yesterday, and the loop restarts. Next, the corrosive inner critic. The voice accuses fraud, slacker, disappointment. Pain sharpens, the body shuts down. You scroll for quick dopamine to numb the guilt. Hours later, you surface dazed and the clock, still handless, sneers from the wall. This loop is not laziness. It is defense. If the project is never born, it can never be judged. Yet every aborted birth adds weight to the invisible backpack you haul. Heavy packs make any step feel impossible. The antidote is not manic motivation, it is constant micro-action. Give the clock cardboard hands if you must, just so it starts to turn. Movement breeds clarity. Stagnation breeds monsters. Close your eyes for a moment and see a museum rising in the desert. The outer walls are black marble reflecting the tangerine sky. Tourists travel for miles to witness the masterpiece rumoured to rest in the central hall. But inside, they find only a pedestal draped in white silk. The guide whispers, the piece is not quite ready for the world. Day after day, new groups enter, sigh, snap photos of nothing, and leave. Over time, the museum becomes famous for its absence, an Instagram mystery. Now open your eyes. That museum is your mind, the pedestal is your big project, and the silk sheet is perfectionism. While the cloth remains, you may attract attention, yet never deliver essence. The art is not being refined in secret, it simply does not exist outside imagination. Today I invite you to tug a single corner of that cloth. What shows up may be crude, incomplete, smudged. Good. Real museums display not only finished pieces, but also sketches, studies, attempts. It is in those drafts that visitors sense the artist's humanity and truly connect. So let the desert dust blow in, let light land on the floors. Floors are footprints of process, and process is the only road to anywhere meaningful. Here's the pact. For 1 week, you will challenge the inner algorithm that releases dopamine only when something nears perfection. We'll hack the chemistry by serving tiny doses of controlled imperfection. Day 1. Write 100 words without deleting. Set a 5-minute timer, type. Do not edit, do not reread. Post in a trusted group or tape it on a wall. Day 2. Post a photo with no filter. Choose any scene, the full sync, bedhead, traffic, and share exactly as it is. Day 3, raw voice message. Instead of polishing text, record 30 seconds of a fuzzy idea. Send it to a supportive friend. Day 4, 60-second sketch. Timer visible, pen ready. When it rings, stop and send the picture to someone. Day 5, recipe with no measurements. Cook guided only by taste. If it's awful, post the pic and describe the flavor honestly. Day 6, 30-second video. Film yourself speaking about a current fear. Upload as a story that vanishes in 24 hours. Day 7. Public reflection. Write what shifted. Name at least 3 lessons and share. Each action is a micro-shock that retrains your reward system. It learns that showing up imperfect also releases dopamine, serotonin, connection. By week's end, aesthetics do not matter. What matters is the courage muscle flexed daily. Lucas, 27, a programmer, spent nights perfecting pixels but never hit publish. He took the challenge, and on day 3 launched a buggy prototype. Within 24 hours, he received 5 downloads, 3 honest feedback messages, and 1 partnership invite. He learned that a bug is data, not a verdict. 6 months later, 1,000 active users, and the conviction that version 0.1 beats Idea 10.0. Bia, 34, a teacher, kept secret song recordings on her phone. On day 6, she posted a shaky cover with distorted audio, but a soulful voice. A student shared it. A local drummer saw it, invited her to rehearse. Now she sings Saturdays at a bar and says it was the ugliest and freest video of my life. Ravi, 41, an engineer, had drafted fiction for decades, yet perfection demanded a Pulitzer in the first line. On day 1, he tossed 100 words into an anonymous forum. Yes, critiques came, but so did readers begging for chapter 2. Now he wakes early, writes 500 words each dawn, and feels lighter than ever. These tales are not motivational ads. They are mirrors reminding you. The world responds to those who show up, not to those who only plan to show up. If it worked for them, it can work for you. Their biology is the same. The difference was a single click of courage. 1 volume beat Sparkle. Pottery students split into 2 groups, one graded for the best pot, the other for the most pots. The quantity group, cranking out and smashing clay non-stop, produced the most beautiful pieces. Every crack carried microdata no theory could teach. 2. Feedback early. Show the rough draft and you get direction before burning too much fuel on the wrong road. It's real-time GPS, not an outdated map. 3. Reverse pride. Celebrate the act, not the outcome. Say I started with the same sparkle you'd say I won. 4. Sustainable rhythm. Small consistency beats heroic sprints. 5 minutes of violin daily over 1 year trumps a single brutal week, followed by months of nothing. 5. Strategic self-compassion. Coach yourself like a toddler learning to walk. Firm encouragement, 0 insults. Shame contracts, support expands. Finished, I breathe. Perfect, I hold my breath. Without oxygen, no idea survives. Sit back, feet grounded. Close your eyes. Inhale for 4 beats, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold for 2. Exhale for 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. As the air leaves, picture your perfectionism as a glass suit of armor. It gleams, yet shatters at the slightest hit. With every exhale, imagine cracks spreading, not to hurt you but to free you. Repeat silently, I release control, I welcome progress, I walk light. Feel your body sink into the chair, finally allowed to rest. 3 full cycles send the brain a message. No lions nearby. It is safe to create. Open your eyes, pick the nearest object, pen, key, cup, and describe it aloud without perfection adjectives. Just what is. This trains the mind to see the world as process, not final exam. Do it whenever panic of failure looms. Presence neutralizes the tyranny of ideal. 1. The 80-20 project. Each week choose a task you will deliberately deliver at 80% polish. Teach your brain the world does not end at less than 100. 2. Delivery metrics. Count posts, not likes. Count minutes executing, not hours planning. 3. Beta buddy. Pick someone who loves process. Share drafts. Ask for structure feedback, not surface shine. 4. 2-minute action. When anxiety spikes, do anything that can be done in 120 seconds. Open the file, name the folder, write the title. This short circuits rumination. 5. Compassionate review. Every Sunday, list 3 moves forward and 1 that stuck. Thank the forward, forgive the stuck. Plan the next micro step. 6. Celebration rituals. Clap, dance 15 seconds, breathe deep. Any physical mark of done. Soon, dopamine bonds to finishing, not fantasizing. Over time, starting and completing become a healthy addiction. You do not need the flawless badge to claim your space in the world. You need an honest step. Today, messy on purpose. Name 1 myth about perfection you will drop right now in the comments. Hit like, subscribe, ring the bell. It truly fuels my work. And click the video on screen. It is the next step on your journey. I believe in your courageous mistake.